Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are fine and having good times at your homes. So beta, it's our 8th lecture today from English literature and we are going to start with the 4th chapter, chapter number 4 of our book, that is First Aid. And in today's lecture we'll read that chapter and solve the grammar exercises. What comes to your mind by reading the word first aid? What? Hmm? Any help that you provide to a person right after a person get wound, get injured, or a person fell unconscious. So the first help you provide to the victim is called first aid. What is it? Before starting the chapter, I want you people to open page number 38 of your textbooks. Today we'll read and discuss this chapter. So let's start up with the reading of the chapter, beta. We all need help at times in our lives. Sometimes we may have accidents and we may get hurt. When we are injured or suddenly become unwell, we need someone to help us, someone who knows what to do. It is the temporary and immediate help. As we were talking, that the first immediate sudden help is called first aid. A person who knows something about first aid can be very helpful in this regard. The timely assistance comprising simple medical techniques is most critical to the victim and is often life-saving. And this is the help that is often life-saving as well. Means in some of the critical conditions, if someone is unconscious and you're providing that person with first aid, it may be life-saving for that person. Any lay person, any layman can be trained for first aid, to administer first aid. The first aid can be carried out using minimal equipment. You don't need any medical instruments to provide first aid to a person. You can do it with minimal equipment. Means you can provide first aid only with the help of Sunnyplast, with the help of iodine and cotton. First aid knowledge ranges from taking care of cuts to dealing with an conscious victim. Okay, first thing is cuts and scrapes. How to handle with cuts and scrapes. Handling minor accidents at home or on the road develop a sense of crisis management. This may prepare people to tackle with unexpected emergencies with great confidence. What can be unexpected emergency at your homes? Someone may get a cut, someone may fall off while doing something, while the children may get hurt while playing, or your mother, your father, they may fall off while doing some home tasks. So these are unexpected emergencies, and to handle these emergencies, it will give you great confidence. Minor cuts and scrapes usually do not need to go to the emergency room. Yet proper care is essential to avoid infection or other complications. Following guideline can help you to handle crisis and take care of all. Minor cuts and scrapes they can handle easily at home. You can just clear the wound with pyridine antiseptic lotion, and then you can put dressing on it. Clean the wound. Next step is, oh, I'm sorry. Now, these are the steps how you can handle with minor cuts and scrapes. Stop the bleeding. Minor cuts and scrapes usually stop bleeding on their own. If they don't, apply gentle pressure with a clean cloth or bandage. Hold the pressure continuously for 20 to 30 seconds, and if possible, elevate the wound. Don't keep checking to see if the bleeding has stopped, because this may damage or dislodge the clot that is forming and cause bleeding to resume. If blood spurts or continues flowing after continuous pressure, seek medical assistance. Now, how to handle these situations? First of all, minor cuts and scrapes. They don't need they don't bleed. They stop bleeding on their own. But still, if the bleeding is not stopping, what should we do? What you're gonna do? You have read it? Yes, you will take a clean cloth and apply pressure, and you'll apply pressure for at least 20 to 30 seconds. And please don't keep on checking whether the while those 20 to 30 seconds there is no need to check it again that whether the bleeding has stopped or not. This may damage, or this may dislodge, means this may hurt the wound, and this may happen that the pressure if you are pressing it with pressure, and while checking it again and again, the pressure will release and this bleeding can stop, bleeding can resume. And still, even after providing pressure, if the bleeding is not stopping, then there is need to take medical assistance. Second thing is that clean the wound. First one was to stop the bleeding, and second thing is that to clean the wound. Rinse out the wound with clean water. To clean the area around the wound, use soap and a washcloth, but soap can irritate the wound, so try to keep it out of the actual wound. If dirt or debris remains in the wound after washing, use tweezers cleaned with alcohol to remove the particles. If debris still remains, see your doctor. Thorough cleaning reduces the risk of infection and tetanus. Now, the next step. What is the next step? That you need to clean the wound. Normally, we clean the wound with what? How do we clean the wound? So for cleaning the wound we need soap. We'll use soap. We are not going to use the soap on the wound, but around the wound, around the surface around the wound will be cleaned with soap cloth and wash soap and washcloth. And then what is the next step? The next step is, if the debris, the small particles of dust, still remains in the wound, use tweezers that are cleaned with alcohol to remove that debris. But still, if you are unable to remove that debris, you need to call a doctor, because thorough cleaning is required at that time to reduce the risk of infection. Now, next one is, it's on next page 39, apply an antibiotic. After you clean the wound, apply a thin layer of antibiotic cream or ointment to help keep the surface moist. The products don't make the wound heal faster, but they can help your body's natural healing process work faster. Certain ingredients in some ointments can cause a mild rash in some people. If a rash appears, stop using the ointment. Next one is apply an antibiotic. What do we do? What do our mothers do? They normally use ointments and they think that they are going to heal up. Ointments are the purpose of ointment is not to heal the wound faster. First of all, the purpose is to keep the surface moist. Otherwise, if the surface is going to get dry, it will be painful for the person. So to keep the surface moist, there is need to apply an antibiotic cream or ointment. So sometimes some creams they cause rash on any skin type. So if it is causing rash, there is no need to use that cream again. Next one is cover the wound. Bandages can help keep the wound clean and keep harmful bacteria out. After the wound has healed enough to make infection unlikely, exposure to the air will speed wound healing. So first of all, before the healing, you need to cover the wound. You need to bandage that wound because why? So that the harmful bacteria may not enter the wound. But if the wound have healed enough so that the bacteria or there is a covering over the wound and the bacteria, there is no risk of bacteria entering the wound, the open air exposure of air will be more effective. It will speed up the wound healing. Now, next one is change the dressing. Change the dressing at least daily or whenever it becomes wet or dirty. If you are allergic to adhesive use in most bandages, switch to adhesive free dressing or sterilize gauze held in place held in place uh, with paper tape. Gauze roll or a loosely applied elastic bandage. These supplies generally are available in pharmacies. So, what is adhesive? This sticky tape. Normally, people cover the wound with Sunnyplast that has a sticky tape on both the sides. So, some people are allergic to adhesive tapes, adhesive materials. So, they can use other bandages, adhesive-free bandages for that purpose. What are adhesive free bandages? You must have seen that there are people do have these adhesive free bandages. The white roll, the white roll that is used to uh, for the dressing of the wounds. So you are allergic to if you are allergic to adhesive tapes, you can use that gauze roll and or you can loosely roll it around the wound and then you can and then what you can do is to stick it with white tape, paper tape or whatever. And these things are easily available in the pharmacies. Watch for the signs of infection. See your doctor if the wound is not healing and you notice any redness, increasing pain, drainage, warmth, or swelling. While changing the dressing, if you notice anything that the pain is increasing, or there is a redness, or there is drainage of fluid material, or there is swelling on the wound, then you have to seek the medical assistance of your doctor. Got it? And now, what's the next thing? These were the things that how to heal the cuts, scrapes, and emergencies. Now we have first aid kit. That first aid kit should consist of which material? Every office, factory, home, and school should have an accessible first aid box with the following recommended basic contents. So what should be that every office, school, or every working place should have should every working place should have a first aid kit at their places. Now, first aid kit should consist of first thing, first aid book. Clearly explains how to handle basic problems. That first aid book, if you are not able to understand how to use some materials, the first aid kit will The first aid kit will tell you how to use the things. The book. Number two, band-aids, the plasters. Normally we call it sunny plasters. Band-aids or sticking plasters are good for dressing small wounds. They come in all sizes, shapes, and for fingers, legs, and anywhere. Anywhere else you might get little cuts. Make sure the band-aid is big enough to cover the wound. If not, you should use a dressing instead. So normally what do people do if on normal cuts or scrapes minor, they just use that Sunplast or these first plasters, because they come in all sizes, shapes for fingers, legs, and anywhere else you might get the cut. But you should make sure that it should be clearly covering the wounds. If it is not covering the wound, if it is smaller than the wound, so you need to go for a dressing instead. Number three is elastic bandage. The elastic bandages are good for wrapping sprained joints. If there is a problem in your joint has a pain or there's a problem in your joint, the doctors use, or you can use elastic bandage. Elastic bandages are flexible enough so that they can the joint should be easily kept in its place, or making a sling in case of a broken arm, or we can even make a sling. What is a sling? If someone's arm is broken, the people may make a sling around the neck and the broken arm, so that the broken arm should not be pressurized, should not be burdenized. Gauze or an adhesive tape. Gauze pads or rolls are cloth pads that are placed directly on a wound to protect and control bleeding. For larger cuts and scrapes, you will need adhesive tape to keep the gauze in place. Normally people do have gauze rolls, and what is the use of gauze rolls? That to dress the bigger cuts or scraps, and then we need adhesive tape to keep the gauze in its place. In an emergency, a clean cloth, hand towel, a clean t-shirt can be used to cover the wound. If the gauze roll is not available, or gauze pad is not available, you can use anything, a clean cloth, hand towel, clean t-shirt, anything can be used to cover the wound. Next thing is alcohol wipes, alcohol swabs, or antiseptic wipes. Now then we have the latex gloves. It's better to use gloves to avoid any infection. Then calamine lotion. Calamine lotion is normally used to soothe the sunburns, or if some insects have stings you. Then clinical thermometer, and then the painkillers, the tablets, and analgesic tablets. Normally everyone do keep paracetamol or aspirins. So these are the things you need for your first aid kit. Now the chapter is over, beta. If something is still not clear to you, you can ask me through comments. And then come to page number 42, go through the glossary and vocabulary exercise A and B is your homework. You are going to solve these two exercises on your textbooks. There is no need to do anything on the notebooks in today's lecture. So go through the glossary and solve vocabulary exercise A and B. If still and if anything is confusing, you can ask me in the comments of Google Classroom. Okay, beta, hopefully everything is clear to you. Now, this is all for today. Allah Hafiz, and stay safe and stay home.